The 10 coldest places on Earth that shouldn't exist. There are places on Earth where the sun gives up, where air turns to glass, sound refuses to travel, and life itself becomes an act of defiance. Here, the cold isn't a season, it's a way of existence. Engines freeze, rivers stop flowing, and even time seems afraid to move forward. Yet somehow, humanity remains. We cross, we measure, we endure. Because at the edge of the impossible, there's something deeply human, the need to understand what lies beyond our limits. Today, Latitude Zero takes you to the farthest corners of our planet, to the places where winter never ends and the world seems to hold its breath. From frozen villages lost in blizzards to Antarctic domes where the air itself can't sustain life, each destination reveals a different face of the same truth, that beauty, danger, and mystery often share the same silence. The cold comes in many forms. Sometimes it's a gentle whisper across the mountains, and sometimes it's a force powerful enough to freeze the soul. So bundle up, because what you're about to see isn't just ice and snow. It's the final frontier of our planet, where nature writes its own laws, and humanity dares to listen. Number 10. Rogers Pass, Canada. The corridor of eternal ice. High in the mountains of British Columbia lies a place where snow never surrenders. Rogers Pass isn't just a point on a map. It's a white scar carved deep into the heart of the Rockies. Here, winter doesn't arrive, it simply never leaves. Temperatures can plunge to 40 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. The wind slices through the air like glass, and human life becomes a test of endurance. Freight trains crossing this corridor vanish into blizzards that erase every trace of movement, while avalanche control cannons thunder across the valley, firing before the mountain decides to unleash its own fury. Each blast echoes like the heartbeat of the range. Branches crack, glaciers breathe, and the sound of ice fades into absolute stillness. This is a place that teaches one truth. Nature has no enemies, only limits, and those willing to cross them. Rogers Pass stands at the edge between what's human and what's impossible, where every footprint in the snow reminds us how fragile we are before a planet that still moves to its own pulse. And when the echo finally fades, time seems to stop, leaving the cold as the last witness to everything that ever dared to move. Beyond those frozen peaks, the cold takes on a different form, quieter, heavier, where even silence begins to freeze. Number 9. Snag, Yukon, Canada, the silence that freezes. Hidden deep in the northwest of Canada, surrounded by mountains of ice, lies a village that holds an impossible record, -81 degrees Fahrenheit. Snag, a tiny settlement in the Yukon, once became the coldest place ever recorded in North America. But what defines this place isn't the number, it's the silence. A silence so thick, it feels alive. Locals used to say voices would freeze in midair, that you could speak and watch your words turn into mist before falling as tiny crystals to the ground. In Snag, even sound seems afraid to move forward. The sun barely touches the horizon, the mountains turn a metallic blue, and frost covers everything that once breathed. No wind, no birds. Only the sharp crack of ice splitting through wood. Engines refuse to start, thermometers stop working, and loneliness becomes a companion. Those who've been there say time itself stands still, that the body forgets warmth, and the soul finally understands what extreme truly means. And when night falls over Snag, the entire world seems to hold its breath, waiting for the cold to finish writing its name into the earth. Further east, across endless steppes and bitter winds, lies a city that doesn't just endure the cold, it breathes it. Number 8. Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. The city that breathes ice. In the heart of Asia, where the wind knows no boundaries and the steppe stretches endlessly toward the horizon, stands a city that has learned to live below zero. Ulaanbaatar, the capital of Mongolia, is the coldest capital city on Earth. In winter, temperatures can plunge to 40 below, yet life here never stops. From above, smoke from thousands of chimneys forms a white veil that hangs over the rooftops. Beneath it, golden Buddhist temples and ancient yurts still endure within the growing city. Children walk to school through falling snow, and the sound of horses' hooves mixes with the hum of modern engines. Here, the cold isn't an enemy, it's part of the soul. It's a blend of endurance, faith, and quiet pride. The city moves slowly, as if every breath costs a little more effort. But within that calm lies something powerful. The quiet strength of a people who learn to coexist with the ice without losing their inner fire. And when the wind blows down from the surrounding mountains, Ulaanbaatar seems to float among frozen clouds, as if the whole world had stopped for a moment just to watch it endure. Far to the north, where the land meets the Arctic Ocean, there's a place where the sun itself disappears, and life continues in darkness. Number 7. Barrow, Alaska, United States. The city that lives without the sun. At the northernmost tip of the United States, where the Arctic Ocean turns into a frozen mirror, lies Barrow, or as the Inupiat call it, Utqiagvik. For 65 straight days, the sun vanishes from the sky. No dawns, no sunsets, just an endless night draped in shades of blue that covers every house and every breath. Here, life becomes a test of faith. Warm light glows through frosted windows, while sled dogs sleep beside small fires that seem too fragile against the endless ice. Sometimes, the northern lights dance across the sky, a reminder that even in darkness, beauty survives. The air burns when you breathe it. Skin cracks, the sea freezes, the horizon disappears into a wall of white. And yet, Barrow endures. People hunt, fish, and celebrate life below zero. This place teaches that darkness isn't the absence of light. It's proof of human resilience. And when, after weeks of waiting, the first ray of sunlight finally rises again, there are no words, only laughter, tears, and the sound of ice melting, as if the earth itself were taking its first breath again. Thousands of miles away, across a continent of ice and silence, there's a village where winter never ends, and the cold becomes a way of life. Number 6. Oymyakon, Russia, the village where the cold never dies. Deep in the heart of Siberia lies a place where winter never ends. Oymyakon, known as the coldest inhabited place on Earth, once reached an unimaginable temperature of 96 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. Here, life happens inside the ice. Engines are left running all day so they don't freeze. Water is stored as solid blocks. Even your breath turns to powder before it reaches the ground. Frost clings to eyelashes in seconds. The silence is so absolute you can hear the frozen earth crack beneath your feet. And yet, people smile. Children walk to school wrapped in thick furs. Herders guide their reindeer through the mist. Elders sit beside tiny fires, telling stories that somehow survive the cold. Living in Oymyakon isn't about resisting. It's about accepting that the cold can also be home. It's looking at a white horizon and understanding that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it simply breathes below zero. And when night falls over Siberia, chimney smoke rises like a vow. a silent promise from a people who learned to live with the impossible. Beyond the frozen valleys, there's another Siberian town, one that burns and freezes in the same breath, where the extremes of nature collide. Number 5. Verkhoyansk, Russia, the land of fire and ice. On the banks of the Yana River, surrounded by silent mountains and frozen forests, stands Verkhoyansk, a small Siberian town that defies the logic of nature. Here, the temperature once plunged to 90 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. Yet in summer, it can climb to over 100 above. It's the only place on Earth where the same ground knows both fire and ice. People walk over soil that cracks like glass in winter and bursts with color in just a few short months. It's a brutal, breathtaking cycle, an endless duel between two extremes. During winter, the sky turns metallic gray and sleds glide across the frozen rivers like ghosts. By summer, those same children swim in waters that were solid ice not long ago. Verkhoyansk is a living paradox, a reminder that everything can be reborn, even under the cruelest cold. Here, nature doesn't destroy, it transforms. And when the sun finally returns after weeks of darkness, its light bounces off the snow like a promise that even the coldest lands hold a beating heart beneath the frost. Far to the west, beyond endless tundras, rises a mountain so high it seems to devour the sky, where the air itself becomes a test of survival. Number 4. Denali, Alaska, the mountain that devours the sky. In the heart of Alaska rises Denali, the highest peak in North America, a mountain that pierces the clouds at more than 20,000 feet, where the air grows thin and every breath becomes a battle. Here, temperatures can drop to 100 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit, and winds roar at over 90 miles an hour. To climb Denali isn't just to face the cold, it's to face yourself. Mountaineers describe it as entering another world, a silence so deep you can hear your own heartbeat echo off the ice. The landscape is both beautiful and merciless. Glaciers shattering like giant crystals, clouds swirling around razor-sharp ridges, and a horizon that fades into endless white. Denali forgives no mistakes. Every step demands respect. Every breath is a pact with the mountain. But at the summit, everything stops. No sound, no time, just infinity. Up there, the ice gleams like the memory of Earth's beginning, and the wind whispers one truth: the cold can destroy, or it can purify. And when the storm finally passes, what remains is the echo of courage, the faint heartbeat of those who dared to climb into the sky. Beyond the peaks and storms, at the end of the world itself, there's a place where night lasts half a year, and the cold becomes eternal. Number 3. Amundsen-Scott Station, Antarctica, where the night lasts half a year. At the very bottom of the world, standing on the exact geographic South Pole, there's a place that feels like another planet, the Amundsen-Scott Research Station. For 6 straight months, the sun never rises. No dawn, no dusk. Just one endless night wrapped in a silence that freezes everything it touches. Temperatures here can plunge to 120 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. The air is so dry it turns every breath into a cloud of ice that falls to the ground like glass dust. The people who live here are scientists, explorers of the unknown, surviving in voluntary exile at the edge of the earth. They walk through metal corridors buried in snow, where the hum of machinery replaces the sound of life. Time itself seems to stop. Clocks still tick, but the body forgets what a day feels like. The loneliness becomes tangible. No birds, no wind, only the crunch of ice beneath their boots and the glow of auroras painting the sky in green and violet. This is the planet stripped bare, a mirror showing us how small, fragile, and yet how relentless we truly are. Here, curiosity is stronger than fear, and the human spirit burns bright against the coldest darkness on Earth. But even farther across the frozen plateau, there's a place colder still, a desert of pure ice, where even the wind dares not move. Number 2. Dome Fuji, East Antarctica. The desert of ice where sound doesn't exist. On a white plateau more than 12,000 feet above sea level lies one of the most remote and lifeless places on Earth, Dome Fuji. In 2010, satellites recorded temperatures here close to 135 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. So cold, the air itself can no longer carry life. Nothing moves. Nothing makes a sound. Even the wind seems to surrender. The horizon stretches endlessly in every direction. No hills, no shadows, no sense of distance. Only the blinding shimmer of ice so pure that your eyes must close to bear it. Those few scientists who have stood here describe it as stepping outside of time, where even thought seems to slow, as if the mind itself begins to freeze. No permanent stations, no animals, no trace of humanity. This is the purest silence on Earth, and in that stillness, something extraordinary happens. The cold stops being a threat and becomes a revelation. Because in the total absence of life, what remains is the essence of the planet itself, the slow heartbeat of Earth beneath an ocean of eternal ice. And yet, beyond this frozen desert, there is one last place. A point so cold, so absolute, it stands as the true edge of the world. Number 1. Dome Argus, Antarctica. The edge of cold, the end of the world. In the heart of the White Continent, buried beneath miles of ice, lies the coldest place ever found on Earth, Dome Argus. In 2018, NASA satellites detected temperatures close to 144 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. Here, the air is so dry it can't hold moisture, and the ice turns to dust. It is a place where life simply ceases to exist. There are no stations, no footprints, no sound. Only an endless plain so bright it seems to glow with its own light. The cold here is absolute, a silence so deep it feels like the planet itself has stopped breathing. Scientists who have studied it from afar say no other place on Earth compares. It's the edge of emptiness, the last whisper of our world before space begins. And yet, even in that total silence, there is beauty. A beauty that needs no witness, because it represents the ultimate boundary of creation itself. Dome Argus isn't just a point on a map. It's a reminder of what we are before the universe, a fleeting spark on a planet that, even frozen solid, still manages to breathe. Extreme cold isn't just the absence of warmth. It's the way Earth reminds us of its power, of the fragile balance between survival and wonder. From the frozen villages of Siberia to the silent domes of Antarctica, each place marks a frontier, a line between what we understand and what we can only feel. And still, humanity goes. We explore, we endure, because our curiosity burns brighter than any sun that fails to rise. If this journey moved you as deeply as the wind that shapes these lands, subscribe to Latitude Zero and join us on our next expedition across the hidden edges of the planet. Latitude Zero, where Earth reveals its extremes